You have a task to do for 20 minutes and within 60 seconds, your hands naturally pick your phone and open Instagram and started scrolling. Not because you planned to or not because you ever wanted to. Your thumb just moved, like it has its own brain now. Like it doesn't even ask you anymore. It's just gone. And the worst thing is you didn't even realize it happened until you were 3 minutes deep into someone's story, watching a stranger's vacation, and somewhere in the back of your head, a small voice said, "Wait, I had something to do," and you close the app. And then you open it again and you already know something is off. That weird frustration when something takes more than 5 minutes and you just stop. You close the tab, you start a task, and halfway through, your brain just goes quiet, like it hit the wall, and suddenly you're back on the phone, scrolling through something you don't even care about. The scary part is that it's happening more and more, and you have started to think that maybe this is just who you are. Maybe you're just not the type of person who can sit with hard things. Maybe focus is for other people. Those people who wake up at 5 in the morning and read thick books and finish what they start. But here's what I want you to sit with for a second. What if it's not who you are? What if something actually changed in your brain? Literally in how your brain works now compared to how it worked 5 or 6 years ago. Because that's what's actually going on. And nobody's really talking about it honestly. See, your brain has this system, right? It's been there since humans were just trying to survive, find food, avoid getting eaten. And it runs on this chemical called as dopamine. Now forget everything complicated you've heard about dopamine. Simply put, dopamine is what your brain releases when something feels rewarding. It's not even about pleasure exactly. It's more about the anticipation of something good. It's that feeling right before you open a notification, right before the next episode starts, right before you see how many likes your post got. That tiny spike of, oh, something might be good here. That's dopamine doing its job. And your brain, being the pattern learning machine that it is, starts to figure out what gives it that spike. It gets addicted, not in a dramatic way, just quietly, slowly, to the things that give it fast, easy, guaranteed rewards. And this is where your phone comes in, because your phone and everything on it is basically a dopamine machine designed by some of the smartest engineers in the world, specifically to keep giving your brain those little spikes over and over as fast as possible, with zero effort required from your side. Think about it. You don't even have to look for something interesting anymore. It just comes to you. Scroll and something funny appears. Scroll and something emotional. Scroll again and something that makes you angry. Your brain is getting rewarded constantly, rapidly, effortlessly, and it's not even aware that this is unusual. It thinks this is just how the world works now. And here's the problem. When your brain gets used to fast, effortless rewards, it starts to find slow, effortful things genuinely painful. Not metaphorically, literally uncomfortable like a physical resistance. Sitting down to study or to write something or to learn a skill or even to have a real conversation without checking your phone, these things don't give you dopamine fast enough. They require patience. They require staying in discomfort. They require your brain to not get rewarded for a while. Your brain has been trained now to expect that reward to come immediately. So when it doesn't, it panics a little. It gets restless. It starts sending you signals. This is boring. You're wasting time. Go check something. Go do something easier. And because you have spent months, maybe years, listening to those signals, you have built a habit of escaping. Every time something got hard, you reached for the phone. Every time you felt that restlessness, you fed it with something easy. And slowly, without realizing it, you trained yourself to be allergic to difficulty because you repeated the escape so many times that your brain now treats hardness as threat and ease as safety. And you feel this in real life, You hit the part where progress slows down, where it stops being fun and starts being work. And that's the exact moment most people quit. Not because they don't want the result. They still want it. They just can't tolerate that in-between space, that boring, uncomfortable, unrewarding stretch where nothing is clicking yet. That space used to be something people push through almost automatically. And I think deep down you already know this is true for you because you've felt it. That gap between who you want to be and what you can actually make yourself do. You've had goals. Real ones. You've sat and made plans. You know what you want. But somehow when it comes to actually doing the hard thing, something in you resists and you give up faster than you expected. And then you tell yourself a story about why it wasn't the right time or why the goal wasn't really for you and how you'll start again next week. And next week comes and the same thing happens. Here's the thing though, and this is the part I want you to really hear. The people who are able to do hard things are not some special breed. They are not built differently. What's different is that they have either protected their brain from this pattern or they have deliberately, painfully gone through the process of rebuilding their tolerance for discomfort. They have sat in that restlessness and not escaped it, not because it felt good, but because they understood what was happening. Every time they stayed with something hard, they were training their brain to associate effort with eventual reward. Every time you escape, you're training your brain that effort is something to run from. And these are two completely completely opposite directions. One leads to a brain that can do hard things, the other leads to a brain that can't. And right now, without judgment, just honestly, you know which direction you've been going. The really uncomfortable truth is that it doesn't just go away when you feel motivated. Motivation is not the answer here, because motivation is also just a feeling, and feelings come and go. What you're dealing with is a trained pattern inside your nervous system built slowly, quietly, through thousands of repeated choices to take the easy exit. And the only thing on the other side of that is discomfort. Real, boring, unrewarded discomfort that you have to sit in long enough for your brain to start rewiring. Not through some 30-day challenge, not through a productivity system, just through the slow act of not running away when things get hard. That's it. No secret. No hack, just you and the thing you have been avoiding, and the decision to stay in the room a little longer than you did yesterday. You probably already knew all of this. That's the thing. Somewhere inside you, you knew. You just needed someone to say it without making it sound easy. Do subscribe if you liked it. I'll see you again.